Hi, Kirk here from DPC. Today we're going to be walking through the setup of my CW5200 Industrial Water Chiller on my 130w 130w CO2 laser. That's a mouthful, but thankfully it's really quite easy to set up, so let's get into it. Okay, as far as controls go, we have our power on and off, we have our up and down selection buttons, we have an RST and a set button, and we have our LCD display. So after we've connected the hoses, I showed you how to do that in the last video. If you didn't see that, then just go back to the last video. We switch it on, it will start the machine, and to access the menu you press the top arrow and then straight after the set button, and then after 5 seconds the LCD will change to 0. Now in order to access the sub menu, you'll have to enter in the factory password, and that is 8. So just use the up arrow to go to 8 and then press set to access the sub menu. F0 is the temperature that we want the cooler to be set at. If you press set, you can access that option, and it's currently on mine is set at 20 degrees. They do recommend that you set it 1 degree or so above dew point. Dew point here at the moment where I am is 19 degrees, so I'm happy with that. I'll set that. Quick note though that if you wanted to go lower than 20 degrees, you'll need to go to F9 and set the lowest temperature allowed. So let's press set to lock that in and then go up to F1. F1 is only used in the intelligent mode, so we're going to skip that and just go straight to F2. Okay, so F2 now is basically the buffer or the variance that we're allowing between the temperature we want at low at 20 and when it's going to come on. So it's 0.8. So it's as soon as it's 0.8 of a degree above my set temperature, it will cool it back down. So we're going to log that in by pressing set and go up to F3. F3 is actually how you turn off intelligent mode or turn on manual mode. So if you go set, you can see it's on 0. 0 is actual constant or manual mode. That's what we want. So we'll press set again and lock that in, just so you know 1 is variable. Okay, we don't want that, we want 0. Lock that in. F4 is when do I want the alarm to go off, at what temperature above my ideal temperature that I've set, my constant temperature. So how many degrees above it. So if I press set, I can see it's set at 10 degrees. I might touch it down a little bit to say 7 or so degrees. So what I'm saying is from the low temperature that I've set, 7, that's a bit far, but we'll bring it back up. At that degrees above what I've set as my optimum temperature, the alarm will go off if it goes above that. F5 is the low temperature alarm. So like the high temperature alarm, at what temperature does the machine set off an alarm at a low temperature? 15 degrees is fine for me. I don't intend to go below that. Press sect once again to lock that in. Now F6 is the ambient room temperature alarm. So at what ambient temperature in the room do we want the alarm to go off at? At the moment it's set at 45 degrees. That's pretty hot, so I am actually going to take that down to 40 degrees. I'd like to know if the ambient room temperature is at 40. My aircon will certainly be going on. So we'll lock this in. And okay, so up to 7. F7 is the password. So if I hit the set button on F7, you'll see that the password is the one that we first entered, is 8. So let's leave that there because we're all aware that 8 is the factory set password. Okay, F8 is the highest temperature that can be set on the machine. So it's currently set at 30. We can take this down to 25. Again, these temperatures are based on where I am. So we'll lock that in, go up to F9. F9 is the lowest temperature that can be set on this machine. For where I am in Queensland, if I give that a hit, it's 18 degrees. I'm happy to take this down to say 16 degrees for the lowest allowed temperature that can be set here. Relative to where I am, that's fine. And then all we do after setting and locking that in is press RST to make your way back out, because that's all the settings that we need.